Yeah, I was actually a little surprised when I was handed when you sent the script draft over to me in an email, and like all these robots had alter ego names as opposed to their
Yeah.
names in the game, and I was a little taken aback by it at first, but then it fit. The more once I finished reading through it all together, it was a perfect fit, just based off the mood that the story,
Uh,
the whole flow in
yeah.
general was much different than the rest of them. The rest of
Uh,
it, the soundtrack, everything. It was more of uh, more of a cartoon short than the rest. The rest of them were more like little commentaries
yeah.
and whatnot.
Yeah, because we were taking you into a fictional universe inside a fictional universe, if you will.
Yeah, it was kind of a paradox in a way, but there was that one was I think you pretty much wrote the entire script of that one.
Yeah, that was kind of what happened there, and it was a big change from the previous one, and because of the way the first three came out and had more to do with, just the walkthrough itself, whereas this one was just all gags and stuff. And one of the names I still want to bring up. One of the names was Gravity Man. Was your buddy? He was called Buddy, but originally I wanted him to be called Bub. Uh, so you'd be saying stuff like "forget it, Bub" and stuff like that because I wanted to really kind of work the accent in there or something like that. But then when I started to think about the name Bub, and I thought, well, what is Bob? And I was thinking Robert, maybe no, but that's Bob. And somehow it just turned into Bud because he was your buddy, and I thought because I wanted him to be the stereotypical Irish cop. So I thought if it was Bob, it probably came from something like Baba, and Baba O'Neill would have sounded just completely wrong. So it became Buddy O'Neill,
The only thing about the
stuff like that.
cartoon I wasn't 100% happy with was the fact that Stone Man was kind of left out of the loop. I mean, he was
Yeah,
involved, but he
that's
wasn't
another thing
drawn.
I kind of regret. Yeah.
But that's just one of those things that it happens. There's a ton of those things that happen in my reviews and everything else where I get a fact wrong or I leave something out, and people are quick to point out those things. But it was that's just one of those things you
Yeah,
can't
people didn't
control.
actually complain about a lot about Stone Man, except a
No,
few of them probably picked it out, though.
the only thing that ever happens is some people will notice it. Some people won't notice that he was even there, and then other people will correct him and point it out. And so I think that a majority of people knew what was happening when I said Stoned Man.
Okay, so I think here at the end, we should probably discuss a little case of plagiarism that we were accused of that we really didn't do.
That's right. Them.
Okay, so the latest cartoon that we did together, the Walkthrough Warrior.
Yeah, it was accused by one or two people of at least borrowing the idea from Angry Video Game Nerd in regards to the fact that it was a ninja that was training
A samurai in my view. I
yeah,
think Yamato Man is a samurai, definitely, not a ninja.
it was definitely yeah, it was, but they were close to each other. The ninja training and the
Yeah.
samurai. I could, the if you watch Angry Video Game Nerds Ninja Gaiden review, that there were similarities definitely taken there, but and there were some like one or two people that took a bit of offense to that, and that we had stolen the idea from them, but
None of us was actually even thinking about the Ninja Gaiden episode when we were making this. I mean, the whole idea behind it originally was completely different. I mean, I don't know if you remember anymore, but I suggested that it was supposed to be more like a trailer to a movie, like a ninja movie or a samurai movie, and it got changed along the way until it became like a full-fledged cartoon like it is now. And personally, I really took offense to the whole idea that we ripped off the Angry Video Game Nerd because I'm a big fan of James Rolfe's work. So, yeah, that kind of pissed me off personally.
Yeah, it didn't really. I mean, as far as me taking offense to it, it was I didn't really. It didn't bother me too much because I knew, and so did the majority of the people that had watched the video. You know, they didn't see it that way either. I mean, it was just in the minority, really, as far as people who believed that we had ripped off the idea.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was only one or two people, but they were very,
yeah,
I
they were
think,
pretty
very,
harsh
very
about it.
convinced that we had ripped off Angry Video Game Nerd.
That's true, but there was it drove one YouTube user whose name escapes me, who actually made a video defending us about it. And I thought that was pretty cool
Yeah.
how they went through the trouble of doing that when they really didn't have to. But I mean, the thing was that if you watch both videos, there's absolutely no, aside from the general premise of training. So there was a protege and the mentor, and that they were similar in the Ninja Samurai motif, whatever you want to call it.
Well, that was really, I
really
think,
the only
a really broad similarity.
That
When you
is,
think about it, the whole point of the Ninja Gaiden thing, I think, was the nerd wanted to beat the game, whereas you were forced into training by Yamato Man.
Yeah, and
So
not to mention that none of the lines were, none of our dialogue was anywhere close to each other. So it was a coincidence, and if it was something that happened, if it was that had been James's most recent video, then I would think that would have popped into our heads at some point during making the video. But we, neither one of us had even remembered that. It hadn't occurred to either one of us that might even seem close to each other, which it goes to show how close they really were to each other. They weren't very close at all.
yeah, that's the thing, is that I did have that moment of self-doubt in there, that I did actually immediately after reading some of those comments, I went and actually looked at the episode myself because because I thought, had I unconsciously done something, and when after watching that, I was just thinking, where are people seeing the similarity? It just felt really weird, and especially because I will admit that I have ripped off some people, especially the brothers chaps who did the Homestar Runner cartoon, and actually with Yamato Man, I used to do the whole bit with him, and so is no place for a mighty warrior, and nobody ever criticized me of that, so so it was really weird.
No, because that was obviously an
feel
intentional reference. If anybody noticed it, that's the way they perceived it.
Well, it's something that recently I started to feel a bit guilty about. Now that I have been accused of plagiarism when I actually didn't.
Funny thing was too that we intentionally omitted the whole Homestar Runner line in this cartoon because of that, because you didn't want it to be a ripoff, and little did we know that it would turn out we would be accused of ripping off. But anyway, to put that whole negative
wasn't there one guy that thought that because you look kind of like the guy from Contra at the end, that you were gonna do the Contra review next? And I think people need to understand that Ken never tells me what his next review is, so I never put any hidden messages in my cartoons. If there is a similarity, then that's all it is. It is a similarity.
Yeah, and I think there was the some people. There was one guy in particular that was really brutal about his accusations of our plagiarism, and then anybody else that even pointed out that there were similarities were just thinking that we might have done it as I don't know about a parody or just just a little bit of reference that one.
Yeah. But I kind of wanted to kind of get that stuff out of the way, tear the Band-Aid off, so to speak, on that. And I think we're gonna be wrapping up soon because of the time difference. It's really late at night where I am at, so I think we're gonna end it right here. So It was nice talking to you, Ken, about the cartoons. I'm sure the fans are going to find this all really interesting.
Likewise. And maybe
you,
we'll do
you
it
got
again
any last
sometime.
words?
That's pretty much it. Maybe we'll till next time.
Yeah, I was wondering about this. Me talking a lot more than you, but you said some interesting stuff. Okay,
Well, yeah,
but
it was your. I mean, it was your cartoon, so you had more to say.
yeah, I didn't think that was going to be the case because my memory is just really shot when it comes to these cartoons that I do. I can't remember anything anymore. I don't remember things that I did last year, let alone what I've done like a couple of months ago. Okay, but I think we're gonna we're signing off here. This is Hannu the Honda Mäkinen, and
And this is Ken, Aqualung Blakey. Till next time. See you later.